Hello, my dear viewers. In today's video, let's get to know me a little better. I've got a set of 5 questions that I'll be answering, and I'll try my best to be as candid as possible. So let's get started. The first question being, why did I choose to become an English educator? So there's a backstory to it. It was my grade 12, and that is when it hit me like a rock that there's a lot of pressure onto us kids to score good marks and to compete with our peers to get into a good university. And I realized that learning and scoring good marks was not really that stressful or difficult in a way if you knew how to do it in the right manner. So I remember I used to study for only 30 minutes every day right until my board exams, and I was easily able to score a 95 percentage, whereas on the other hand my friends who would study for 6 hours every day couldn't even touch a 90%. So that is when I realized that if one knew the right way to study and to understand how to strategically plan is when learning and studying becomes easier, and you can actually focus on to enjoying the process of applying that knowledge into your life and not just focusing on to scoring good marks and competing with one's peers. So I wanted to change that idea, and that is why I decided to become an English educator, English being my favorite subject, something which I really enjoy. And that actually connects with the next question as to why did I choose to become an English educator, or what is something that I really enjoy about the subject. So, to me, English is very liberating as a subject, and rather, it's very creative to me. I feel like even today, when I teach certain prose and poetry to my kids, I love the idea of how every child has their own interpretation of the poem or the text. And that is something that brings a lot of joy to me, as to every picture has 10 different interpretations when you put it out there, to be read. So yeah, that is something I really enjoy as an educator, and I want my kids to hold that passion and to enjoy that liberation and to enjoy that creativity which the subject brings to them. So yeah, moving on to the next question. A piece of advice to young learners. So one piece of advice that I really want all my students to, keep very close to their hearts and to really follow it religiously is consistency. In today's world, there are a lot of options, to experiment with, or to, try out to understand what your niche really is. But in that chaos, or rather in that rush, it is very important that you stay consistent with your habits. And here, when I say habits, I really mean that focusing on your academics. When a child is consistent with their efforts, when a child is consistent with their learning attitude, that is something which is going to really help you in making your life easy. So yeah, consistency in whatever you've decided to do is something that is really going to take you to wonderful places, and not just giving up onto the idea that you've decided to work on. So yeah, that's my advice. Stay consistent. Now the fourth question would be how to improve spoken English. There are 2 to 3 certain very simple ways that students can follow to improve their spoken English. The first one being read. I won't tell you to read those heavy books or those heavy novels. Read anywhere. You like reading comics, read comics. You like reading fan fictions, read fan fictions. Even when you're using your phone, if you like using your phone, or you're someone who can't just pick up a book, take your phone, read an article on your phone, or even on your social media. Follow certain pages which publish good stories. Try and push yourself to read more. The second thing being, try and communicate in the language as much as possible. Initially, you will be a little hesitant because you're going to fumble, you're going to make mistakes. But when you put yourself out there and you start speaking, trust me, when you move from this group to the other one and you try and speak, there's going to be this level of confidence having your back. And I mean, it is something which is really magical, but just when you start speaking is something which actually helps you to master the language. And the third one being, try and experiment with your vocabulary. Try and use new words in different instances of your life. Let's say if you're having a conversation about a book or maybe a text which was really sad, or maybe there was something which was really which led to a certain crisis, try and use certain phrases like that was such a cathartic situation, or add verses like catharsis, oblivion, and maybe just diversify your vocabulary a little is what I'm trying to say. A lot of times your idea may not match the word, you might use the word in the wrong situation, but trust me, using glorified vocabulary gives you a lot of confidence when you're speaking in the language. Yeah. And the last question being, what is my favorite word in the language and why? My favorite word in the language is gratitude. That is something I hold very near and dear to my heart because I feel like every day brings so much of glory to each one of us, and we're just not focusing on to all the blessings that we get every day. It is when we lose a certain thing, in our life, is when we actually realize that, oh, maybe I was taking this thing for granted. Tiniest thing being getting fresh clean water to drink, or maybe getting, having the electricity to just make our day run smoothly. So I think counting the basics and being grateful for every single bit is something we all need to learn and focus on. So yeah, that's about this video. Do let me know, what do you think about my suggestions? Do you think this video idea was a hit or nah? Whatever is your opinion, I would love to hear from my audience. You may comment down below and I shall surely connect with you. Thanks a lot for watching. Also, if you have any further video recommendations, do let me know in the comment section. Thank you, my dear viewers. You have a lovely day. Thank you.